get access to the right data at the right time. So we have about 150 million records in our databases, ranging from stolen IDs to smuggled weapons to missing children. And all this data that police needs to do their work and to protect communities, we make it available. As an organization, we also provide operational and technical assistance support to countries, also to build up the capabilities of law enforcement and strengthen the capabilities of countries to protect communities.
So basically, if, for example, law enforcement, for example, police in one country requires some help,
which serves as a contact point for police to communicate. So basically, if a country is looking to locate a fugitive, they have a contact point in any country. And we also do so by building up the capabilities of police and giving them the training, the equipment, the data they need to look for either criminals or missing people.
So this work is probably done across very many different domains. Today we are talking about cyber criminals, the activity which is going on online. How do you come in with that? How prominent is the criminal activity which is going on online these days on your radar?
Yeah, so it's a very good question. So for us as Interpol, we see it through our member countries, and we see that financial fraud in particular is one of the highest threat concerns of all our countries, all our member countries. And as part of financial fraud, we also see like a very heightened sophistication of online fraud, thanks to the use of deepfakes and artificial intelligence. So this is something, a trend that we see very much since the COVID pandemic, because of the use of technologies that it really induced. And more we can see how AI technology becomes cheaper, more available, easier to use, and how it really is leveraged by criminal organized groups to trick people and to hide their identities.
Okay, could we bring in some examples on what are the things that cyber criminals do online? Because I see so many news about people losing millions and tens of millions of money to cyber criminals. What are the main kind of patterns being used these days?
It's a lot of them, but if we are looking at, for instance, the theme of this conference today, which is the use of ICTs to promote inclusivity on the job market, there are many of these trends that we see. So, for instance, deepfake. Deepfake is the use of AI technology to depict an individual in a situation which is highly realistic, but which never occurred. So basically, we see more and more the use of deepfakes by organized criminal groups to impersonate people, either to make it as they are a friend, they are a family member, or even a legitimate service provider. We also saw it recently in Panama, where some criminal organized group impersonated some public authorities, also to promote a fake investment platform. So whether it's at the level of, I would say, that the society or at the individual level, with the use of artificial intelligence to produce phishing email, to impersonate people, to create fake information on job ads. These are all the new tricks that we see happening, and it can be everything. It's what we call synthetic media, and it ranges from impersonating individuals, but also faking the voice, faking IDs. We have a lot of different modus operandi, if I can say.
Yeah, I recently got a text message from our post office, and they said, well, you have an incoming package from United States. For reference, I'm from Estonia, so I had an incoming package from United States, and they said, well, we just need €2 of a service fee, so please put your credit card details here. And I obviously didn't, because I didn't order anything from the United States, and nobody sends me gifts. But it's a clear pattern where they want to get your credit card details. This is one example, right?
Yeah, exactly. So there are all these online scams in place for you to either share data, and whenever you share personal data, you put yourself at risk, or also for you to send money. What works very well in online fraud is exactly what you just read, is to trick people to send very small amount of money. It's very small amount, even if you at some point are aware that you got tricked, you don't really report on it, it wasn't a lot. But when you see the volume of people affected, you really have networks behind who are making a lot of money out of this like €2 you're going to spend on your parcel, plus all the data that you're probably going to be given to these people, and then who are going to use it against you.
So we mentioned deepfakes a couple of times, and we actually do have a video prepared by Interpol for that. Before we go to the video, though, could you really briefly explain what we're about to see?
So this video, it's part of the Think Twice campaign. It's a campaign that Interpol has launched to the public to very much promote conscious and informed choices for people whenever they are exposed to online content. So in this video, you're going to see, it's a 30 seconds, and it illustrates how a criminal uses artificial intelligence to fake a profile. In this case, it's a lady, and this person is joining a meeting online on her behalf. He generates her visual identity, her speech, and you basically have in front of you someone that you really think it exists, or even someone you know, and it's absolutely not.
Okay, let's play the video and see how it goes. All right. We clearly are illustrating the way AI, artificial intelligence, is helping, sadly, the cyber criminals into committing more fraud. I want to touch on the aspect of people with disabilities here. Here in Zero Project Conference, we hear a lot of good things AI does. For example, the technology of voice cloning enables people which, with speech impairments, enables them to talk. So there's, the way I see this right now, it's like a two-edged sword, or the metal has two sides, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So, and I think the example you take on synthetic voice is a very good example, because, and we heard it a lot, like during this conference, how much those synthetic audio have been able to help people with speech impairment, and how much also they've been able to enhance virtual assistants. And we listened to that yesterday, and it's obviously like an amazing mean for the disability community to access to more services and to be more included in the society. Yet what we see at Interpol is also the ability of criminals to exploit vulnerabilities. We see organized crime group recruiting collaborators to identify potential victims, to identify more vulnerable targets. And as part of these targets, obviously, the disability community can be a more vulnerable target, I would say, for different reasons, right? Because you have like physical or cognitive impairment, which are not going to allow you to really see, you know, like for instance, those deep fakes and any maybe mistakes that someone could see. Or you also have like the social isolation, and it's something that criminals exploit in any case, whether you have a disability or not. Like social isolation, it's something that criminals are going to exploit, as well as like emotional vulnerability. So you really have a lot of different factors, including the disability community reliance on technologies, like physical, cognitive impairment, also like your social situation, your emotional situation. And then you have a big pot of vulnerabilities that criminals are always happy to exploit.
Yeah, indeed. I understand that one of their great tactics is to isolate people from their security net, from their family, from their friends, so that you will be isolated. Let's go back to the campaign. Think twice, right? What is it all about? What can we all do, or what is your message to people in terms of the topics we've been talking about?
Yeah, thank you, Jakob. So more and more we see that deepfakes in particular, but online fraud is becoming so sophisticated that even for human, it's difficult to identify that is fake. So the only, or at least like the more effective way to answer this is to be more cautious. And this is what the Think Twice campaign is. It's about telling people, verify identities, be cautious when you receive like an email or a request which is unfamiliar, be rational in your choice, talk to your friends and family, be cautious about online relationships, above all if it involves money, and just think twice whenever you are the subject of something that can really harm you as a person or can harm people around you. And this is very much what the Think Twice campaign is. For us as a police organization to already raise awareness within the public of all those scams which exist.
And I assume it's also critical to report the issues. So I assume a lot of people are quite embarrassed when they realize that they've been scammed, right?
Yeah, that's exactly what is the other problem. And this is also what we as an organization, we very much promote, is the reporting. There is the real underreporting of like frauds in general, from online frauds. Usually people are ashamed. They don't want to talk about it. They are being isolated. They don't talk about it with their family. They don't talk about it with their friends. They don't report to police. But this is exactly what criminals want. It's like to isolate people. What we want is for people to go out with it, to report, to talk with friends and family, and to go to police. For us, to be able to protect people better and also to understand the threat better.
I think the cyber criminal situation is very interesting because I believe AI helps us also to catch those. We are almost out of time. I can just bring in very quickly a personal example. A friend in need reached out one day on Messenger and texted me that, can I borrow them some money? And we usually didn't talk about this thing. So I immediately decided, okay, sure, why not? But then the alarm bells in my brain started ringing. So I called them up on another platform to see if they are real and they had a real issue, and they did, unfortunately. So a good example, and it's not embarrassing to do this with friends.
Absolutely.
Floriane, so much gratitude for raising those topics. I thank you very much for staying with us today.
Thank you.
And be safe out there online. If you talk to somebody, if you're watching us online, are real. We're not deepfakes, hopefully. So thank you for your time. We'll take a little break here, and the next Fireside Chat will be back.
Thank you.